back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. As usual, I'm your host, Mark Pierce. What do we got going on today? Today is July 13th, and we are going back to 1985. It is the anniversary of the mega concert that we all remember, right? Live Aid. Remember that? Pretty massive. Huge, actually. I did have a t-shirt from that, even though I didn't go back in the day. It wouldn't fit now, but too bad I don't have it. Anyway, so let's go with a review first for those of you who don't know what Live Aid was. So Bob Geldof from the Boomtown Rats gets together with this other person, and 6 months prior, or 7 months prior, put together a single called Do They Know It's Christmas, which was raised money for Ethiopian famine. And it was just all of the mega stars in the music MTV world especially that got together and sang this song. And we were all excited in high school when we watched that video because you get to see who was singing, and then when you listen to the actual song, you would always try to, point out who was singing at that moment, because sometimes you only had one line or a backup or whatever it was. So he decides to get a bigger idea, which is to put on 2 concerts on different continents at the same time or the same day to raise more money for famine relief. So he does do that. One is in Wembley Stadium and one is in Philadelphia. And eventually it's broadcast. It's the largest satellite link-up broadcast in history, I believe. And it was viewed by 1.9 billion people over 150 nations, which is 40% of the world's population. And other countries did kind of smaller concerts or performances around the world the same day to help raise money as well. Debatable on how much money was actually raised, but it was for a good cause. And the list of stars, I'm going to go through the list of performers just so you guys know. But the interesting part about this, there's a couple interesting things about this. One, most performers only performed 3 songs, 4 if you were really top billing, and that's it. Some people only performed 1 song, which I'll point out some of the people who performed 1 or 2 songs. So that's pretty amazing, right? They went through all that just for 1 or 2 songs. And the list is long, and of course I did not memorize this list, so I've got it going right here. So let's review who was at these concerts. First, Wembley Stadium. Status Quo, Style Council, Boomtown Rats, which is Bob Geldof. Adam Ant sang 1 song. Ultravox, Spandau Ballet, Elvis Costello, 1 song. How about that? Nick Kershaw, Sade, Sting with Phil Collins. Now, Sting and Phil Collins played like 4 songs together. And then Phil Collins got a lot of attention for this because he did his set and then hopped on a helicopter, went to the airport, hopped on a Concorde, if you remember that plane, and then flew to the United States and got on a helicopter and got to Philly and performed both concerts in the same day. When he performed in Philly, he kind of hastily was put together with a Led Zeppelin reunion set, and he was the drummer for them. By all accounts, a disaster performance. He said everyone was just off. They hadn't really rehearsed. And I don't remember who it was. Was it one of the guys from Zeppelin? I can't remember who it was misquoted as saying it was Phil Collins' fault and that he was terrible. Phil Collins even says he thought about walking off the stage. It was so bad, but he didn't want to be known as the guy that walked off the stage for famine relief. Anyway, that's a little factoid for you. Brian Ferry played with David Gilmour playing guitar for his set. Paul Young, U2, Dire Straits played 2 songs. Queen, David Bowie, The Who, Elton John, Paul McCartney with a huge set with David Bowie, Bob Geldof, Alison Moyet, and Pete Townsend. And then Band Aid played at the end, which is, again, basically a group of all those people singing their song. That's Wembley. Philly was Joan Baez, the Hooters, the Four Tops, Billy Ocean, Black Sabbath, Run DMC sang 2 songs, Rick Springfield, REO Speedwagon, Crosby, Stills, Nash, Judas Priest, Bryan Adams, the Beach Boys, George Thorogood, Simple Minds, the Pretenders, Santana, Ashford and Simpson, Madonna, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Kenny Loggins, 1 song, Footloose. That was it. That's all he showed up for. The Cars, Neil Young, Power Station, 2 songs, Thompson Twins with Madonna, Eric Clapton, Led Zeppelin set with Phil Collins, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, Hall & Oates, Duran Duran, Patti LaBelle, and Mick Jagger with Tina Turner, and then USA for Africa. So they got everybody out on stage also at the end. So that was huge, right? I mean, it was a big deal. It was on television all across the globe. The other interesting fact about that is that part of the contract said to artists that it was a one-time event that was not going to be recorded. So they did not officially record this concert for any reasons. Not for music videos, not for DVDs, not for VHS. Everything that's out there are people's copies from their VCRs, basically. Or they actually took the ABC footage and they sent it all to the Smithsonian, but reportedly destroyed it after that, what was left. But there is stuff that's been put together in the years since where they used re-recordings to put stuff together. So anyway, that is the story of that concert. Who declined going to this concert for various reasons, logistics, whatever it was, or wasn't, I guess who declined, right? Bruce Springsteen, Michael Jackson, Prince, Billy Joel, Tears for Fears, Huey Lewis and the News, Marillion, who was really big at the time. A bunch of people were not asked, and they openly said that they were upset they weren't asked. And Roger Waters asked to be on it. He said he would volunteer to play it. And they asked for a Pink Floyd reunion, which, of course, wasn't going to happen. So he didn't attend. So what do you do for Song of the Day? Well, it's pretty clear cut for me, just because this footage was seen most recently in the movie about them. And it's an incredible scene, very well recreated. And that's the song from Queen, Radio Gaga. This is an amazing stage performance. I mean, it is insane. Look at the crowd. Look at the people just cheering this song on. This performance, so good. It's awesome. When I left that movie, the first thing I did was pull up this scene, this footage from YouTube. So you got Queen, Radio Gaga, 1985, July 13th. That's your Song of the Day. Enjoy it. Have a good Monday. And as usual, we'll see you on the flip side. Oh, don't forget, I've got YouTube channel, The Rock Cave, and I'm on Instagram now. Just started that yesterday. The Rock Cave SOTD. We'll post that underneath. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you later.